everyone, welcome to my faith vlog. Thank you so much for joining me. I am just going to talk about something that I've already blogged about, but it's something that I think is just a huge part of my journey. And so if you'd like to go and check that out at myfaithvlog.com, the specific topic I want to talk about today is journaling. If you go and visit that posting, I have a few examples of journals that or journal entries that I made. So that kind of gives you an idea of the random things that I talk about on there. For me, though, I think that it's a huge part of, and I kind of like quickly reread my little entry, and I was like, I like that. I like my wording there. Who says that about their own blogs, eh? I do, I guess. Anyways, I was just sharing on there how, there's so many emotions and things like that that I have that I've expressed on there as far as just my walk with God. And, I have tears and victories and, confessions and, just unanswered questions, I guess, and prayers and just everything. Like there's literally no limit to what you want to talk about because it's just your own personal experience. So I really enjoyed doing that. I started prior to 2003, but that's the earliest entry that I have. I was never one of these people who could keep regular journals like as a teenage girl and things like that. And so I just started, I remember just kind of writing to God, and it just kind of became just a way for me to track my growth and be able to read and reflect back. The coolest part about it is, to me anyways, is being able to read back to my old journal. So sometimes I'll, like for example, for my birthday, I always like to go back to what was I doing a year ago or 2 years ago or 3 years ago around this time, and just to kind of see how I've changed. And I think it's such a cool way of being able to tell yourself things. So I don't know about you guys, but I have a tendency to forget a lot of things. And I don't know if that's like the enemy coming in and just like stealing your victories with God and things like that, or if I have a poor memory. But I basically think that, like, we're just sometimes so caught up in our current mess and our current situation that we don't take a moment to reflect and look back at the good things that God has done and brought us through, and the challenges we had at one point that we no longer struggle with and things like that. So I'm always like, honestly, I surprise myself sometimes reading my own journals, because I'm like, oh wow, I totally forgot that I struggled with that, or I was praying about that, or I had a question about that, or I was so silly back then the way I talked, or I can see that I actually have had growth. Sometimes we don't see growth in ourselves, and so it's been a really cool part of my walk. So I know that I've shared. All right, so discussion time. Tell me your thoughts and feelings and hesitations, or what is your experience with journaling? Is it something you love? Is it something you hate? Is it something you've never tried? For me, I know that I do best when I have a nice journal. I have lots of dollar store journals and those type of things, don't get me wrong, but lately I've been kind of like splurging. I'm like, obviously, like a journal lasts me like a year pretty much. I have gone through more than one in a year, but pretty much. So like if you think about it, even if it costs you 10, 15, $20 over the course of a year, really it's not very much. So if it's something that will increase your desire in wanting to write in one, then it's a good investment. And for me, I don't really have any kind of, well, initially as I started it, I kept it more as my letters to God, and that has sort of evolved to my just journaling to myself. And then sometimes I'll be talking to God in them and things. So yeah, that's my experience with it. Let me know your thoughts and your experiences, and I hope that I encouraged you in some way to maybe try it out if you have never thought of it, or it's something that you have tried in the past and maybe haven't for a long time. I just encourage you to do it again. All right, thanks again for joining me. God loves you. Bye.